So today we're going to tackle one of the biggest questions that I get asked this time every single year. Am I too late to plant grass seed? So if you've been staring at those dead spots or thinking about thickening up your lawn, and maybe you probably wondered if it's too late. And so in this episode, I'm going to break it all down for you. We're going to talk about timing, why the calendar matters. We're going to talk about soil temperatures and the role that they play. And I'll be answering some of the most popular questions like, can I seed late in the fall? What happens to my seed if it didn't come up? And should I wait till spring? And then by the end of the episode, you'll know exactly how to make the right call for your lawn. So let's not waste any time, money, or seed. Let's dive in. Welcome to the Lawns and Life podcast, where DIYers go to get the tips and advice they need to have a great looking lawn. Well, hey there, lawn lovers. Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Lawns and Life podcast, where we dive deep into the world of DIY lawn care. Whether you're just starting out or a seasoned veteran looking to polish your skills, we have got something for everyone. In each episode, I break down simple, easy to understand topics that will empower you to achieve your dream lawn. My name is Devin. I am the DIY lawn coach, and thank you so much for coming back for another week. So here we are. It is the almost end of September, and many of you have done your projects for maybe seeding or renovation, and maybe some of you haven't. And a big question that I get asked every year is, am I too late? Maybe your seeding project didn't go like you thought it was going to go, and now we're a little bit later in the calendar, and you're wondering, am I too late? What do I do? Am I going to be throwing down grass seed and it's not going to come up, or just kind of all the questions all surrounding that. So we're going to talk about that today. Really quick, want to remind you that the podcast is moving to its own channel starting November 2nd. So you don't want to miss that. Go check out the new channel. It's we're moving it off of this DIY Lawn Coach channel, and it's going to have its own dedicated channel. And so if you enjoy the podcast, don't want to miss that, be sure to subscribe over there. Now, there's nothing posted over there right now. Eventually, we're going to launch the season 2 of the podcast on the very first episode on November 2nd. So make sure you go subscribe over there so that when we start moving everything over there, you don't miss anything. We are on our way to number 50, the 50th episode of the podcast. And man, I'm just so excited. We're just counting down. We're plugging away here. We are on episode 48, so we've got 2 more episodes to go, and we will be on 50. This is just a celebration of the podcast, how well it has done, giving back to you, the viewer, you, the listener. We're going to do kind of giveaways every single episode. We're going to give away a prize today. We've got to announce the winners from last week. And so it's just, we're just going to have a lot of fun. We've got some guests coming back for that 50th episode. We've got a DIYer we're going to interview on the podcast as well. We've got a huge announcement of the prize that we're going to give away. It's going to be awesome, and I cannot wait to do it. Again, you guys make my dream of doing this podcast possible. So the least that I can do is reach out to my friends at GCI Turf, Yard Mastery, Flow Zone, the Andersons, and give away some product to you guys and have a little fun along the way. So hopefully you guys are enjoying all of that. But as we always do, we have to do this week's Mindful Moment.
It can be hard to slow down and notice things in a busy world. Mindful Moments is where we pause for a moment to reflect on the here and now. After all, life is happening now. We simply need to take time to notice. These small yet profound experiences remind us that life is not about the destination, but the journey we take to get there.
All right, so this week's Mindful Moment is going to be a difficult one for me to talk about, only because I struggle with it. So I'm going to say a word to you, and I'm going to want you to just think about maybe what it means to you, or how it makes you feel when I say it. So the word is forgiveness. And forgiveness is something that I struggle with. And it's something that we're called to do as Christians, is to forgive. So let's read chapter 4, verse 32 from Ephesians. Paul said, "Be kind to one another, tender-hearted, forgiving each other, for God in Christ has also forgiven you. We are to forgive others just as God has forgiven us." So I struggle with forgiveness, only because it's just really, really hard to do. When you're hurt or somebody does something to you or offends you, it's just, so when someone does you wrong, I think it's kind of in our nature to want to be spiteful and be hateful and want to get revenge on that person. And that's something that I pray about a lot. I ask God to help me with forgiveness. It's something that I struggle with, and I know a lot of people struggle with it. And so I guess the main reason why I struggle with it so much is because I'm judging that person for what they've done. Right? Maybe they accidentally made a mistake and were drunk driving and killed somebody. Does that person deserve forgiveness for what they did? According to the Bible, they absolutely do. And it's in my human nature to want to have revenge. I want them to pay for the hurt and the pain that they've caused that family. But God says otherwise. He says we're to forgive them. And I'm quick to judge and say, well, how could you do that? How could you get behind the wheel and drive a car when you're drunk or whatever? As if to say I've never made a mistake in my life. So Matthew 7 says, "Do not judge, or you too will be judged. For in the same way you judge others, you will be judged. And the measure that you use to judge will also be measured to you." Now, I know when I read that, that scares the crap out of me, because as we are being the same measuring stick that we use to judge other people, whether we judge to forgive them or not, is the same judgment that's going to be placed upon me. And that just scares the crap out of me. My parents got a divorce when I was in high school, and my dad was an alcoholic, and really just wasn't a great dad. And, it's taken me a long time to work through that as far, from a forgiveness standpoint. He chose alcohol over my family, my sister, my mom. And it's taken me a really long time to kind of forgive him for that. And it took a lot of prayer, a lot of thought. I know that he means well. But to say that I've never made a mistake or haven't done something that doesn't deserve forgiveness is tough. So what do you think about forgiveness? Is that something that you struggle with? I'd love to hear from you. So this week, mindful moment, just think about forgiveness and maybe what that means to you. Maybe you've got somebody who deserves your forgiveness, and maybe this is the time that you want to forgive them for whatever it is. Forgiveness isn't just about for us; it's about for the other person. Imagine if you had made a mistake and you wanted to be forgiven for it. You've made a legitimate mistake, and you deserve forgiveness. And God calls us to forgive, and not to judge, because we're the same measuring stick that we judge someone else is going to be used against us. So, hope you guys enjoyed this week's mindful moment. All right, so let's get into the meat of the podcast. So we're talking about late seeding. Is it too late to seed? And let's get into it. So here we are. It is the end of September, and maybe you had a seeding project that didn't go like you thought. Maybe the weather conditions haven't been conducive to where you are, and you're wondering, am I too late to seed? What happens? What are some of the controlling factors? What happens if I don't get seed down? All that kind of stuff. So let's just dive right in. So let's talk about first what controls seed germination, because that kind of sets the baseline as to determine if we're too late. So really it's soil temperature, soil moisture, and seed to soil contact. So as long as we have all three of those, really, we will get germination. But it's not just the germination that determines the success or failure of a project. Is we have to have enough time for that seed to not only germinate, but to come up and be mowed a couple of times. Because every time you mow a blade of grass, it'll spread. It'll make 2 leaves, and then 4 leaves, and then 6 leaves, and then 9 leaves. And it just grows as the plant grows. Every time you cut it, you're encouraging it to grow. So it's not just it's not just the germination that we're after, but what controls seed germination is air temperatures. You got to have enough heat in the air and the soil. Okay. You've got to have enough light. You've got to have enough soil moisture, and you've got to have enough, you got to have soil moisture, and you got to have seed to soil contact for that seed to germinate. Okay. So as long as we have all of those things, we'll have germination. Let's talk about what's ideal versus reality, because we live in reality and everyone will tell you what is ideal, right? We want soil temperatures between 55 and 65 degrees. We want this much daylight. We want to be able to mow the grass at least 3 times before the first frost. We want all these things, all this check off. Well, all these checklists of things that need to happen. Well, that is in an ideal world. Newsflash, we don't live in an ideal world. We live in reality. And if you know anything about Mother Nature, she does what she wants to do when she wants to do it. And we're not in any control over that. Now, we try to make informed decisions when we are planting grass seed. We look at the average first frost date, right? We're trying to back up 6 to 8 weeks before that actual first frost date, but we don't know when that is. That's just maybe a 20, 30, 40, 50 year average, right? What about rainfall, right? What if we have a large lawn and we can't irrigate the way we're supposed to because we have a large lawn? So that's where I'm talking about. We have reality, the world that we live in, and then we have the ideal situation. Go back to what controls germination. We have to have soil moisture. We have to have the right soil temperatures. We have to have seed soil contact. So as long as we have all of those things, then in reality, we'll get germination. All right. So what happens if you don't get seed down this fall? Okay. For whatever reason, maybe you got it down, but it didn't come up. What are you going to do? Are you going to put down grass seed anyway? What are the risk versus the reward of putting down that grass seed? What's the worst that could happen? Your grass could potentially die, or it could potentially make it, right? Do you know how the winter's going to go? If you live up north, do you know how much snow you're going to get? Like specifically how much snow you're going to get? No, you don't. You think you know. You think you know what the weather's going to do based on historical data, but you don't know. How long is that snow going to stick around? Is it going to how cold are the nights going to be for an extended period of time? None of that we know. So I'm of the opinion that I would much rather get grass seed down late than never. It's just like when we talk about weed control. I'm of the opinion that some is better than none. If I get down my pre-emergent and I stop 50% of the weeds, well, that's 50% better than had I not stopped any of them. So if I'm going to put down grass seed late, I'd much rather put it down late than just not do it at all. Now, late is different from not doing the things that it takes to get germination. You still have to water. You still have to do all of those things to get the germination. But I'd much rather be late than not do it at all. Because even if I lose 50% of the grass that I plant, well, that's 50% more and better than not having it at all, right? So that's just kind of my approach. So I guess what really happens to your grass over winter? It continues to grow. It continues to go through all of its normal processes. It just does it a little bit differently over the winter. It's not so much focused on top growth. It's really focused on root growth. But at the end of the day, your lawn is still growing if you If it's not dormant, if you live in an area that it's not going dormant, your lawn is still it's still a living thing. It still needs water. It still needs light. It still needs air. It still needs, right? It still needs all those things. Maybe not nearly as much as, when it's actively growing, but it's still alive. It's still living. But if you live in maybe the transition zone, my lawn continues to grow all throughout the year. Usually about middle of December is usually what I call my last mow. And then maybe I'll mow again, maybe in February, really just kind of a cleanup mow to get rid of the leaves. But I can still tell that I'm mowing something off. So that grass is still growing. It's still pushing roots, not so much top growth. So why am I saying that? Because if you're going to plant late, or if you think it's too late, your grass is still going to be growing. It's still going to be, it's still going to have an opportunity to survive the winter. Again, all of it may not survive, but some of it may. And I'm of the opinion I'd rather give it a chance. So to answer the question, is it too late to seed? Let's look at a couple things. Where do you live? All right. Are you in an area where you still have time left in the calendar to where you can still meet the requirements for the soil temperatures? Are you going to have enough time to get water on it before you can't water in northern Michigan in December, right? Why? Because you've had to shut off all your irrigation. Water freezes, right? We can't be watering. So you still have to water. Are you still able to get enough sunlight to get that grass to germinate? Is the ground already frozen? You can't get seed to soil contact, all those things. As long as you're able to get down grass seed and you still have enough time, then you're absolutely not too late. Again, I'd much rather you be late than never. All right, guys. So let's announce the winner from last week's contest. If you remember, I'd posted a picture on my Instagram account and asked you guys to caption it, and I would pick one winner from that contest, and we'll announce that this week. And a bunch of you submitted your entries. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed that. If you didn't get to see it, it was a picture of a squirrel kind of making this kind of funky stop maneuver, and it was kind of a funny, cute photo that I thought. But the winner this week for the contest is Fez Nartz, Nartz. And he says, whoa, that doesn't look like high quality grass seed that I stashed last year. So Fez, you are the winner this week. Thank you so much for your entry. I really do appreciate it. Of course, I appreciate everybody who enters. I wish I could give out a bunch more prizes, but we're just going to give out this one this week. So Fez, send me an email to thediylawncoach@gmail.com. Let me know that you won. We'll verify that you actually won. And then I've got a whole list of prizes for you to choose from. I've still got some liquid fertilizer. I've got a bag of granular fertilizer from the Yard Mastery I can send you. I've got hats, t-shirts, and stickers and all that stuff. So send me an email, man, and I'll let you pick. But let's announce what we're going to do this week in the contest so that we can give a prize away next week. Again, all the rules to the contest are listed below. If you have any questions about the rules, please read them. I certainly don't want to go through this and pick out a winner that is not eligible to play. You have to be 18 years old. You have to live in the United States. There's a whole bunch of rules linked down below. This is not a sponsored YouTube contest. Has nothing to do with any of the other affiliates in the program. This is just me. And so I just want to make sure I call that out. But this week, here's what I want you to do. I want you guys to send me an email of the photo of your lawn. That's it. That's all you have to do. And then next Saturday morning, when I record this, like I'm recording it now, I'm going to pick a winner and I'm going to show your lawn on the podcast. And I just want to see your lawn. It's really, really that simple. Take a picture of it, email it to me at thediylawncoach@gmail.com. Let me know your name, and that's it. That's all you have to do. And then I'm gonna pick one winner, and you get to pick a prize just like our previous winner from last week. And it doesn't have to be anything special, just a picture of your lawn. It could be a good looking lawn. It could be an ugly lawn. It could be you standing in your lawn. It could be your kids, your family standing in the lawn. It could be whatever. I just want to see what I'm working with, see what you guys are out there. And of course, I will post the picture of your lawn, so you got to be okay with showing that off. And we'll announce that on October 5th, which will be next Sunday's podcast. So get those pictures in. I can't wait to see your lawn and have some fun, give away some prizes. And so I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast this week. Hope you enjoyed the tips talking about seeding late. Hope it helps you out. If you have any questions, feel free to leave me a comment down below. I'll try to answer them as best I can. Go over to the new podcast page. Make sure you subscribe over there. I'd love to see you over there as well. You guys have a great week. My name is Devin. I'm the DIY Lawn Coach, and I can't wait to see you in the lawn. Peace.